Alright, so next we're going to be talking about the weight or the lightweight. And here we have 5 basic layups. So I'll just underline that, 5 layups. So when you order different layups, like we're very specific here in the factory. Like what I have with me here is I have a bunch of what we call layup sheets. So we actually use these, and I might even just walk over to the camera. So this is an in-house factory document, and it pretty much all just shows what layers are where, from the core to the glass that's underneath, to the wood, to the glass that's over the top, and so on. And you know, what's under, what's over, and how much extra glass we put on a board. So what I'd like to do now is just explain where we have extra glass on the board, and then we'll talk about the different layups and what sort of weight you can expect with each different layup of board. So if we look at I'll just drop these over here for a sec. So when we look at the board in general, we've got glass either side of the sandwich. So we have glass inside the board and glass outside the board. So in general, a standard Sunova has twice as much glass and resin as what you'd find on a conventional PU board. And the difference is that we've got this lightweight core, which means around the outside we can construct this durable, flexible skin. And the flex and the durability, as we discussed before, comes from the sandwich. So what we do inside the board is on the bottom, on the foam, we have a layer of glass. And we generally use 4 ounce for standard construction. So we have a layer of 4 ounce inside the board. Then we have our balsa wood, which on the bottom is 1.5 millimeters. We have it slightly thinner, so it's got just the right flex. And then on the outside of the bottom, we have 1 full layer of 4 ounce that covers the whole board. Then what we do is we run an extra, what we call a butterfly patch in the tail. Excuse me. And that covers the entire fin system. And then each fin also has an extra patch that sits over the top. So 1 full layer of 4 ounce under, 1 full layer of 4 ounce over on the bottom, the butterfly patch, and the individual patches. So what that means is on the outside around your fin systems, you've got 3 layers of glass, and in general, the whole tail area between the glass under and glass over, you've got like 4 layers of glass in this area on the bottom. So when we put the glass on the bottom, we wrap it onto the deck, onto the outside. So the whole bottom layer wraps, but also this butterfly patch also wraps. So what that means is as we come into the deck, because if you look at a board, you're going to get knocks and bumps, and you're really going to wear it down more in some places than in others. And so you've got traditional like problem spots on surfboards where you really give them a beating. So the bottom of our board is basically the softest, the lightest. You don't need all that strength there. And plus you want that cushioned ride as well. So on the deck, what we have is on the inside, we do 1 full layer of 4 ounce again under the wood. Now you also have to remember that the glass that's inside the board is under different forces to the glass that's on the outside. So the glass that's on the inside is going to be under tension. And this is where fiberglass is quite good. If you ever got some fiberglass and try to break it, it's really hard. It's not like breaking a bit of cotton. It's like, you know, you'll hurt yourself trying to pull it apart. So the glass on the inside is under tension. Glass on the outside is in compression. So we have under the wood on the deck, 1 layer of 4 ounce, but as well as that, under the wood, in the tail area, we do another tail patch under the wood. Then as well as that, we do what we call heel and toe patches. So we run another patch down here and over here, which is right where the heel and toe goes. So inside, under the wood, 1 full layer, 1 back foot patch, heel and toe patches. So in this area, you've already got 3 layers of glass under the wood on the deck. Then, when we glass the bottom, we have 1 layer that wraps right around up to here. Then we have our patch, which wraps right around up to here. So now you've already got here 5 layers of glass. Then when we glass the outside of the board, we do 2 full layers of 4 ounce length of the board. That brings us up to 7 at this point, and then we still have a back foot patch. So right here, in this traditional wear and tear area, where I used to just destroy my PU boards and the rails would pop and split, right here in this back foot area, underneath the heel and tail, you've got 8 layers of glass, okay? Plus, you've got the fact that that glass is sandwiched, so you've got 3 under the wood and 5 over the wood. That just makes the foot area as solid as, stops it from collapsing and breaking, but all with epoxy resin, fiberglass, so you've still got the flex. So when we look at layups in general, so this one's called our standard layup, and I just explained that one to you. So as we go through our different layups, so if I look at a standard board and I take our weight, all right, so we'll just talk about standard now. One of our standard boards comes in around about 5 kilo on the dot. Like generally, you know, you'd never get a board exact. You say 5 kilo, sometimes it's 4.9, sometimes it's 5.1. So there's a little bit of variation, but we generally say 5 kilo is a standard longboard. Now, if you compare that to an existing longboard, if you were to walk in off the street and go and pick up a PU longboard, generally you're looking at around about 7.5 to 8 kilo when you pick up a standard board. They're pretty heavy. So a standard one of ours in a longboard, man, it's already like 30–40% lighter. Now when we come down to team and vapor, so I'll sort of discuss these both the same. Really, we've still got the same amount of layers, but we just trade the glass out. So instead of using a 4 ounce fabric, we might use a 2.5 ounce or a 2 ounce. So 4 ounce is roughly about 130 grams per square metre. And we'll have glasses that'll come right down to 50 grams per square metre. So we still have pretty much all glass in all the same places, because you need to have glass. With, you know, the glass is kind of like, it's like the steel mesh in concrete. It gives it a lot of strength. And you have to have it. So lighter boards just have less glass.